Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to ReZero Season 2 episodes, my mind is blanking, sorry, episodes 6 and, I'll say 6 and maybe beyond right now. And here's why. So, as you guys know, this past week we have done 2 episodes each of everything, because this next week, starting tomorrow, Monday, is going to be all One Piece. It's One Piece week. But as I've stated before, the weekends aren't really affected by this because it's only going to be Monday through Friday for this One Piece week. So what does that mean with this? Obviously, Saturday, yesterday we did more One Piece because there was no Ruby this time around. But yeah, this time today we're still getting to ReZero, and it's like, so what do I do? Do I do 2 episodes still for this as well, or do I just do 1? And the answer I came to is, I don't know. we're gonna kind of take it as it goes. We're gonna see how I'm feeling, basically. We're going to react to at least episode 6 here, and we'll make the decision while watching if I feel like I want to continue or if I want to just leave it there at episode 6. I might do 2 episodes. I might only do 1. I might do 3 for all I know. I'm just kind of leaving it up in the air for now. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, we're kind of getting some more stuff here. Last time, after finishing off his trial, Subaru had tried to help Amelia and everything, but she was having trouble facing her past, like he had done in his trial. So Subaru had talked to what's his face? God, what is his name? My mind is completely blanking on his name. Roswell. Subaru had talked to Roswell and found out that he was behind a lot. Not really behind it, like he didn't control the witches cult and shit, but he left Subaru. He left all of them, but he left so Subaru would be the only one to take care of this all. Out of some completely ill-begotten idea that Subaru at that time could handle it. Because as Subaru put it, it's like when Roswell actually left, the last time they saw each other, Subaru was kind of shit. It's only through the trials and stuff that he actually became worth a damn. And Roswell doesn't even know the full extent of what Subaru went through, so there's that too. But he did all of that. He put them through all of that horror to where people would die and everything, which he clearly made a point of basically saying that he didn't care about that. He basically used the entire what's the term? My mind's gonna blank on this now too. I'll just say necessary casualties. There's an actual term for it. I can't think of it. But he uses basically the entire idea of necessary casualties for a greater cause, and it's really fucked up. And it's like, oh my god, I hate you now. I actually liked you before, but now I hate you. And Ram just has this undying loyalty to him, so it's like she just trusts him no matter what, even despite having no reason to, and no reason to view it, what he did here as anything but evil. So, in the meantime, Subaru has taken everyone who's not a demi-human back to the mansion while things are just figured out and everyone else remains back in the sanctuary. Well, he takes them back to the village, not the mansion. He goes back to the mansion. When there, though, he can't find anyone. He can't find Petra. He can't find the cat girl, the demi-human cat girl. I can't remember her name right now either. God, I am just blanking on everything. We only met her once, so that one's at least not that unusual. But he can't find anyone, and then while running through the halls trying to go check on Rem, he trips on his entrails really suddenly, and then all of a sudden Elsa's back. It's been so long. We haven't seen her since the first episode of the series of season 1. The double-length first episode there. Yeah, and I was kind of saying it before, I don't think the Knights guy is going to be able to save the day this time. Subaru's definitely grown, but I don't think he can handle Elsa. Plus, I mean, like, obviously we know right away that he's going to reset here because his guts were spilled, but, like, we don't know how far back he's going to go, how far back he's going to reset. So it's like, I don't know if he'll be able to get there before anyone else is taken out. We don't even know if they are taken out. Like, we just kind of assume. But I am excited to see Elsa again. I am very excited to see Elsa again. I really liked her as a villain in the first episode. It's just because that was really what got me into this series. I don't know if I ever talked about this on the channel, but let me talk about this real quick here. When I first checked out this series, I didn't know the first episode was double length. So when I saw that it was, I was a little concerned. So I decided to watch the first and second half separately. I watched the first half, and I was not that into it. Like, it had some interesting ideas and everything, I admitted, but I was not that into it. The second half of the first episode took things in such a drastically different direction than I was expecting that it basically shocked me to my core. Because the first half is very generic. Outside of the fourth wall breaking and everything, and maybe the specifics here and there, it was very generic. It didn't seem like it was going to be anything special. Then the second part happens, and all of a sudden, death everywhere. Everyone's dying. And then Subaru resets. And it's like, what? That was pretty much my reaction. Just, what? What happened there? And Elsa was the catalyst for that in the first episode. She was the first real antagonist, not counting like the bullies we saw. Bullies. That's a weird way to put it. They're more like thieves, but still. Not counting them or anything. She was really the first real antagonist. And so seeing her slaughter everyone, seeing her just going whole hog on attacking people and shit, and getting to see how dark it suddenly got after her entrance, it's like, oh yeah, okay, this is something different than what I expected. And I had seen the first half of the episode, again, double length episode. I saw the first half like an entire day before I saw the second half. I was prepared to just not watch anymore. But I was actually convinced on a group I was in at the time on Facebook to watch the second half and just get through that. And if by that point I don't like it, then that's okay. That's at least a little better. So I did, and yeah, I really got into it at that point. So Elsa being back now is really cool because of that. Because of her kind of being the catalyst for me getting into this series in the first place. And just, she's a really interesting villain. And not just because, the titties. It's not just because of the titties. I mean, the titties are nice, but It's also it's just because she's very interesting. She seems to be serving someone, from what I remember. She was talking about like serving someone. That's why she was trying to get the crest and everything. She's not only willing to kill, but she is fully prepared and almost gleefully excited to kill. It seems, um, and it's just I feel there's a lot of interesting stuff that's going to be revealed about her and about whoever she's serving. And that's what I wanted to see. And we didn't get any follow up with her. Instead, it started focusing on the witches cult and everything else. And it's like, I like that stuff very much so. But now we finally get along to catching up with her and seeing what the deal is with her. And I don't think she's working with the witches cult. I think she's part of something else. I just don't know what. We'll have to see. Maybe she's serving one of the other candidates for the royal selection. That would be big. I wouldn't think it would be Crush, um, but I could maybe see it being one of the others. Um, Maybe Anastasia, but I'm almost thinking probably not because Anastasia, it's just she doesn't seem to like fit in with that aesthetic. I don't know. That might be the point. Um, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so that's where the last episode ended too. It's like we couldn't. There's no sign of Petra, of Beatrice, of the cat maid, of Rem, and he just kind of Subaru just kind of got sliced open and left there as Elsa arrived and returned to the series. So let's see where this has to go, and hopefully, no matter how many episodes we end up watching today, it ends up being a good ride. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode or episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so I decided to cut this onto only one episode, cut this down to one. I said in the pre-thoughts I didn't know how many episodes we were going to do, and yeah. Uh, but the reason why I did this is I just felt like that was a good place to end off. um, I felt like with how that episode ended, it leaves off on a really good cliffhanger that's going to make the waits for the next episode even better. And as I've stated well in the past, I actually like cliffhangers because I do think that the build up of anticipation between episodes with cliffhangers actually makes the end result, if good, usually feel better. It just helps the overall feeling of quality. Um, so yeah, this episode was intense and interesting. So after being killed by Elsa, Subaru has to put together to go back to the mansion and figure everything out, and he decides to do so earlier than he did last time, which makes sense. This is after, though, he had kind of unintentionally insulted Amelia by saying that he wanted to take the trial for her, which I don't fully understand why she was so upset by that. It's like, I get the idea is like maybe it's being seen as like he doesn't trust her or whatnot to be able to handle it herself, but it never came across like that to me. It came across to me as loving concern, honestly. Um, and considering how she was reacting to the trial and everything, it's like I fully understand his point of view there, but I understand hers too, so it's difficult. But either way, so Subaru manages to convince um, uh, Roswell to kind of convince them to allow him to go back and everything. And he takes Ram with him on Petrash. And they get back in time before anyone else is killed. But as they're talking and everything, that's when Elsa comes into play. Um, because everything up to that point had been normal. Like Subaru introduces Ram to Rem. Um, we get to see that everyone else is doing okay. And while they're talking, while we see there's while Subaru and Ram are like trying to figure out uh, if God, Frederica, why do I have a hard time with these names? While they're trying to figure out if Frederica betrayed them or not, we find out that she is under some kind of orders or something. She has some kind of oath she's taken that she cannot speak about. So it's going to be interesting to find out more about that. Um, but Elsa attacks, taking Petra as a hostage at first. Frederica and Ram attack back, and even Subaru uses his Shamak. This entire fight happens. A maybe, one giant maybeast and a bunch of little ones come into the mansion, and escaping through the window, our heroes get injured. Subaru gets a glass shard, I think it was glass, to the shoulder, while Frederica gets a bunch in her back. They both survive. It's survivable wounds for sure, but yeah. And then Frederica just strips, just tears off her clothes, and it's like, okay, girl. I mean, you're pretty cute, but okay. But no, she did it to transform into her beast form. Um, so that was pretty interesting. That was pretty interesting to see. Um, she wasn't just stripping just to strip. um, but she goes back in, and they go back to save Rem and everything, and yeah, things just go really bad. That's when the May Beast comes and everything, and eventually, as they're trying to escape and everything goes to shit. Petra is killed, Patrash is killed, Ram might be dead, who knows? And it's implied that Frederica is dead as well, as Elsa returns and attacks Subaru. He's ready to die, but ready to defend Rem at the same time. When all of a sudden the room he's going into, Rem's room, ends up being Beatrice's library instead. And of course, at the end, he's pissed because it's like, wait, why did you save me? So yeah, that was kind of the not the worst possible ending, but a really bad ending for what Subaru was trying to do there, because he was obviously going to return by death, but yeah, it's just now what? Because he has to return if he's going to save them, because they're dead, unless Beatrice knows another way, which I guess is possible. Or maybe he's still going to end up dying, and this is just like a little intermission beforehand. But yeah, this episode was really interesting. Like I said, the way it ended off on that cliffhanger and everything of Beatrice saving him, just the perfect way to leave off for today. I feel like it's just a really good cliffhanger. Um, but yeah, it's like it's ReZero, so it goes from 1 to 100 real quick, real damn quick. Um, like I said in the pre-thoughts, it's good to see Elsa again, and we got a name, like Maylee, I think it was. She said something about like not letting Maylee like show her up again or something like that. So it's like, is that like some kind of ally for her, some kind of partner she's working with? I don't think that's who she's working for. Um, and we get a little bit of talk about that too, how she's not going to rat out her sources and everything. So it's like, it's really getting interesting, and I'm really wondering where it's going to go with that. Um, so yeah, I really am interested to see where this goes for sure. And I just want it to be all fixed because I don't want Petra or Frederica to die, obviously, or Ram, of course. Any of them, Trash, even. I don't want any of them to die. Um, I'm hoping that Frederica becomes more like of a notable character rather than just this, not really side character, but she's not been too important up to now. We only saw her like once before, and it's like there's been hints that she's going to become more important, but she just hasn't yet. So I'm hoping that happens soon. Because I just want to see more of her. I'll be honest. I just want to see more of her. She's hot. She's hot. She's cute. She's funny. I enjoy her. I won't argue that. I'll never like hide my thoughts on that kind of thing. um. So yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying. Um. I'm really hoping to see like more of her actually in action too. Because we got to see her transform, but we didn't actually see her fight in that form, and we only saw a little bit of her fighting before that. I would love to see just more of what she can do. I'm just wondering how the hell they're going to beat Elsa. Like, I have no clue if they even are, because Elsa's just really strong and talented with her abilities and weapons and whatnot. So I have no clue how, if at all, they'll be able to beat her. But I guess we'll maybe see. Um, yeah, it's just hopefully everything ends up working out in the end. That's really all I can say regarding that. Um, but I really am wondering if they're going to reset it here or not. They have to though, right? With Frederica, Petrash, and Petra all dead, Ram possibly dead. We don't know though. It's like they've got to reset it again, unless Beatrice has some kind of magic that can revive the dead or reverse time just without having to use his death or return by death. I don't know. Like Beatrice has clearly been built up to be stronger than we could ever imagine, but we don't know how stronger, how much. I guess we'll see. Um, but yeah, it's like this reaction didn't need to be a two episoder anyway, just because it's like the One Piece week doesn't interfere with it. So I'm not like too upset or anything, or not too. I don't have too many issues with only doing one for this one. Um, we might do two or more in the future, but it's just again, I just felt it was the right place to leave off. So tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of ReZero Season 2, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.